Yo, it's E King Fight News. Big time weigh-in just happened. KELL BROOK versus ERROL SPENCE Jr. And that's going to be a barn burner. That's going to be a fight that has a lot of buzz surrounding it. It's going to be for basically the number 2 welterweight in the world next to Keith Thurman. And these are the kind of fights where everything's on the line. You know, everything. ERROL Spence, you know, putting that undefeated record going, reaching for greatness here, traveling to the UK and taking on KELL BROOK. KELL BROOK, solid fighter, beat Sean Porter for the championship. After that, he went on the mandatory route. He took basically every mandatory defense he could take. You know, he took JoJo Dan. He took fucking he took every middle of the road guy he could take. You know, basically with Eddie Hearn, just giving him easy fight after easy fight. And all of a sudden he pumped up. He went up to 160 to face Golovkin, and that, not surprisingly, led to him getting squashed in the UK. And he took his first loss against Golovkin. Now, the thing to pay attention to is how is KELL BROOK going to rebound at 147 pounds, right? He came at 146 and a half, right? Was this the toughest weight cut of his career? If you ask Eddie Hearn, he might say yes. If you ask if this is the toughest fight of his career, I think we gotta say yes. This is his toughest fight. This is where he proves how great he is at welterweight, taking on a young, hungry lion in his prime. ERROL Spence has been tabbed by many to be a future pound-for-pound star. He's definitely making his waves here, and if he beats KELL BROOK, he's going to be known as a pound-for-pound fighter. Definitely a force that will not be stopped. Imagine going over to the UK. You know, that's one of the hardest roads to take to win a championship, you know? Not too many people have taken that path. Tim Bradley did. He went over the UK, he beat Junior Witter, and he proved to be the best at 140 pounds at the time. I know Kovalev went over there. He fought Nathan Cleverly in a fight that I believe Cleverly was favored. So Kovalev definitely proved his worth at that point. But this is an interesting fight where KELL BROOK is actually the underdog at home. He's not favored in this fight. It is ERROL Spence Jr. that is a solid favorite. He's a minus 170. So that tells you a lot about the class of ERROL Spence Jr. and in terms of what the odds makers think what's going to happen. And that actually coincides with my prediction in the fight. I really believe ERROL Spence is catching KELL BROOK at the right time here. He's catching him at perfect timing. You know, who knows how difficult that weight cut's going to be? Who knows how KELL BROOK will be able to take a shot? You know, after getting clipped by Golovkin several times, he was clearly hurt in the first, and he was hurt several times in that fight, and he definitely sustained an injury. So these are all things that can definitely affect KELL BROOK, especially facing a legit puncher in ERROL Spence Jr. And also, you know, we're gonna learn a lot about how, if ERROL Spence can take a real punch, but from a solid puncher like KELL BROOK. You know, KELL BROOK has a real solid jab as well. So we're gonna see what ERROL Spence is made of in this fight. Definitely, 100%. Everything's on the line in this fight for both fighters if they want to really remain great at welterweight, because it looks like KELL BROOK might be on his way out of the division if he takes another L in this fight. He definitely is backing himself into a corner, and I don't know if he's going to stay at welterweight. He's a big motherfucker, KELL BROOK is. Big motherfucker. And I would not be surprised if this was his toughest weight cut. Just the way he made weight by a pretty comfortable margin, but who knows what he had to go through to make that weight. We really don't know. But he looks in great shape. Both of these guys look in absolute fantastic condition. So this is going to be a lot of anticipation for this one. I think I got Errol Spence in this fight, and I think he's going to win by stoppage. I think he's got a lot of momentum behind him. I think he's got just enough shocking power and great body work to wear Kell Brook down, and I think he's going to finish him off in 9 rounds. That's what I think. I got Kell Brook to lose by TKO stoppage in the 9th round. And if he can, in my opinion, I do not think Errol Spence Jr. wants to go 12 rounds. He can win the fight on the cards, but he can also get robbed. So whenever you're on the road, that's the disadvantage you face. And if Kell Brook looks, if Kell Brook looks to use his legs and box a little bit, he can possibly win a decision. However, he has he's got the knack to kind of, if he gets hit with one too many shots, he likes to get in and get on the inside and get his lick back. And that's where he got in trouble with Golovkin, because he was basically fighting on the inside with Golovkin, and that's the last thing you want to do. Unless you have great defense on the inside, you don't want to trade shots with Golovkin. And he was in a situation in that fight where he was landing his punches, but Golovkin was just eating those chocolate brownies, man. He was eating those shots like it was breakfast. And, it might be a different story in this fight, but he's got to be able to land. Errol Spence has he's got a deceptive defense, and he's the kind of guy that knows when he's got you hurt, right? And he'll accelerate and sort of wear you out if he knows you're hurt. So Kell Brook really has to put that stone face on, and if he really wants to win this fight, he's got to do what he did against Sean Porter. And that's a Kell Brook we haven't seen in a very long time. So based on that, I definitely got Errol Spence in this fight. Kell Brook would have to, dial back the clock to really go back into a vintage mode to try and take this one. So I think Kell Brook has lost his momentum, and I got Errol Spence in this fight.